Day by Day Kids Bible, Day 74. On the Palace Roof, 2 Samuel 11. It was spring. David sent his army to fight the army of Ammon. Joab led them, but David stayed in Jerusalem. One evening, David couldn't sleep and took a walk on the palace roof. From his roof, he saw a beautiful woman, so David asked someone who she was. It's Bathsheba, someone said. She is Uriah's wife. Then David sent someone to get Bathsheba. She came, and David loved her. He slept with her as if she were his wife. Then she went home again. Later, Bathsheba found out that she was going to have a baby. It was because David had slept with her like a husband would. Bathsheba sent a message to tell David about the baby. Then David sent a message to Joab. It said, "Send Uriah to me." So Joab sent Uriah to David. David asked him how the fight was going. He asked how Joab was doing. He asked how the rest of the men were doing. Then David said, "Go home and rest now." He hoped Uriah would sleep with Bathsheba. Then it would look like the baby was Uriah's, not David's. David even sent a gift with Uriah. But Uriah did not go home. He slept at the palace door with the servants. Someone told David, "Uriah didn't go home." So David said to Uriah, "Didn't you travel a long way? Why didn't you go home?" "All the fighting men are staying in tents," said Uriah. "They are camped out in the fields. How could I go home? How could I eat and drink? How could I sleep with my wife? No, I could never do that." "Then stay here again today," said David. "Tomorrow I'll send you back to fight." So Uriah stayed. David asked Uriah to come and eat and drink with him. David made him get drunk, but Uriah still didn't go home to sleep. He slept by the servants. The next morning, David wrote a letter to Joab. He told Uriah to take this letter to Joab. The letter said, "Put Uriah in a place where the fighting is hardest, then put your men back, then pull your men back. That way Uriah will be killed." Now Joab's men were fighting a city, so Joab used Uriah where the fighting was hardest. The men of the city came out to fight. They killed some of Joab's men. Uriah was one of them. Joab called a man to take the message to David. Joab told the man, "Tell the king about the fight. The king may get angry. He may ask why we were so close to the city, or he may ask if we didn't know they'd shoot arrows at us. Then tell the king that Uriah has died too." So the man left to take David the message. He told David what Joab had said. "The enemies were too strong," he said. "They came out of the city to fight, but we pushed back to the city gate. Then they shot arrows from the wall. Some of our men were killed. Uriah was killed too." "Tell Joab not to be upset," said David. "Sometimes people die in fights. So keep fighting against the city, tear it down." Bathsheba heard of that Uriah had been killed. She cried for him for a while. Then David sent for her. She came to his palace, and David married her. Sometime later she had a baby boy. But all of this had made God very unhappy. The poor man's sheep, 2 Samuel 12, Psalm 51. God sent the prophet Nathan to see David. Nathan told David, "Once there were two men. They lived in the same town. One man was rich, the other was poor. The rich man had lots of sheep and cows, but the poor man had just one little pet lamb. The poor man's lamb was his children's pet. It ate his food, it drank out of his cup, it slept on his lap. To this man it was like his own child. One day a friend came to visit the rich man. The rich man needed some meat for dinner, but he didn't want to use his own sheep, so he took the poor man's lamb and had it for dinner. King David got very angry. "The rich man should die," said David. "He should pay the poor man by giving him 4 sheep. He took the poor man's only lamb from him. He didn't feel sorry for the poor man at all." "You're that rich man," said Nathan. Then Nathan told David what God said. I chose you to be my people's king. I saved you from Saul. I gave you his kingdom. If that had not been enough, I would have given you more. So why didn't you care about my laws? Why have you done this terrible thing? You killed Uriah. You took his wife to be your wife. Now fighting will never leave your family. You acted as if I am not important. I sinned against God, said David. And David wrote, Be kind to me, God. Show me your love that never stops. Erase my sins because you are so kind. Wash away all my sin and clean my heart. I know my sins. I always think about them. You are the one who has really been hurt by this terrible sin. I did wrong. You are right when you say what's good and what's bad. I know I'm a sinner, even when I was a baby, even before I was born. I know you want my heart to be true. You teach me to be wise. Clean me, and I will be clean again. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy. Let me be glad again. Let my sad bones know joy again. Hide your face from my sins. Erase all my wrongs, and make my heart clean, God. Put a spirit within me that stays true to you. Don't send me away from you. Don't take away your Holy Spirit. Give me the joy that comes from knowing that you save me. Give me a spirit that wants to follow you. Then I will teach sinners your ways. They will turn back to you. Save me, God. You are the God who saves me. I will sing about how right you are. God, open my lips and my mouth will praise you. I would bring a gift, but that's not what you want. The gift you want is a heart that's sorry about doing wrong. You won't turn away a sorry heart. God has taken away your sin, said Nathan. You won't die, but you've made God's enemies make fun of God, so your baby boy will die. Then Nathan went home. Bathsheba's baby did get sick. David begged God to make the baby well. David wouldn't eat any food. He stayed in his palace. He lay on the ground before God all night. The older people of David's family went to him. They begged him to get up and eat, but he wouldn't. 7 days later, the baby died. David's servants were scared to tell him the news. They thought, when the baby was alive, David wouldn't listen to us. What will happen if we tell him that the baby died? He may do something bad. But David saw his servants whisper. He guessed that the baby had died, so he asked, Did the baby die? Yes, they said. David got up. He washed himself, he changed his clothes. Then he went to the worship tent. He worshiped God. And after that, he went back to the palace. He asked for some food, and he ate. What are you doing? Asked the servants. You cried when the baby was alive. You went without food. Now the baby is dead, but you're getting up and eating. Yes, I cried while the baby was alive, said David. I thought maybe God will send his kind love. Maybe he'd make the baby well again. But the baby is dead now. So why should I go without food? Can I make him alive again? All this time Joab was still fighting Ammon. He was winning at the enemy gate. So he sent a message to David. Get all the army together. Come and take the city yourself. If you don't, I'll take it. Then it will be named for me. So David went to the city with his whole army. He took the enemy city. He took the enemy king's crown. It was gold and weighed 75 pounds. Beautiful stones were in the crown. David wore it. David took lots of things from the city. He made the people who lived there work like servants. They had to work with saws and picks and axes. They had to make bricks too. The same thing happened to all the towns of Ammon. Then David took his army back to Jerusalem.